goes. All right, we are live. This is exciting. Let's kill the music. LINDZ, how you doing, buddy? I'm well. I'm well. You refuse to be on camera. This is unsurprising, but still disappointing. So we're gonna make this. Yeah. All right. So I'm being told we can't hear you in the chat. So stand by and let me figure out why that is. How would I be able to hear you but not? All right. Say something. Something. Still no LINDZ. Hang on. Yep. But for some reason your audio's not coming through, and I wonder if it's because. Hang on. System capture. I want. Stand by. Now, why did this work for Strasma? I'm doing the exact same thing. All right, bear with me. Yeah, maybe try that. Hang on. Let me just try one other thing quick before we do that. In the meantime, hold on.
She's your queen to be.
I had to do it. All right. Let me see if I can get... All right, so wait. This might be it. Assign placeholder. I'm going to do... this is why. This is why. Okay. All right. Now say something, Lindsay. There it is. All right, so keep talking. Why aren't you coming through?
Broadcast. That's horseshit.
Oh, there you go. Now you're working. Okay. So let me try something else here. Keep talking.
See you. I still can't see the chat.
All right, so I gotta do it this way. All right, keep going.
All
right, it's working. All right, for whatever reason, you are the disembodied black box, and I don't think I can leave this screen for some reason. That's fine though. All right, so we're gonna knock this out. Let's make sure. Let me just confirm.
Right, whatever. I still can't see the chat. They're probably all talking shit. Whatever.
Yeah. Assume that. No one's really. Yeah. Hold on. Wait.
Y'all can go to hell.
Yep. That's accurate. All right, so let's talk about. I want confirmation that they can hear you, but no one's confirming it. This is bothering me. Hang on.
Still says chat will be visible in live broadcast.
Okay. All right.
Be first to write something.
All right. So let's talk about Lindsay Troy and how you created her. Was she inspired by an actual? And again, I want to apologize. I didn't listen to your EFED podcast appearance. I barely listened to mine. But so like, tell me what the origin of Lindsay Troy was and when.
Okay, so I was, I don't know, 17, and I was, you remember LiveJournal, like a million years ago? Okay, so I had a LiveJournal account, and they had different, like, groups or whatever on there, and so I was in a wrestling one, and someone posted like an advert for an EFED, and I'm like, oh, what's an EFED? And so I messaged the person or whatever, and they explained what it was. I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds whatever, kind of neat. And so like you just, whatever, create a character and you write like a promo. It's like, when they're backstage at a like event and they gotta like promote their match. I'm like, oh, okay, I could probably do that. I like to write, So I created a character, and so no one told me that you don't have to base them on yourself. No one told me that you don't have to use your name.
I see.
because a lot of people were using like their names
Okay.
in this eFed, and then you had like your whatever, like Jimmy the Kid and whatever, right? Like your big bad monster man's
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
So like I
What year
used
was
my
that?
first
What year was
name,
that?
2001,
Okay.
and no one told me any different.
Yep.
Probably because I was the only girl in the Fed, and they were probably taking the piss out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used my first name, but I didn't want to use my last name. I was like, didn't want to put too much of myself out there.
Sure.
And so I just came up with like, I just picked a last name. So I just used Troy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I based her on me. And again, no one told me any differently.
Right. You found out later. You're like, wait a minute. There's no way this
Like,
person's name is whatever. Right. Right.
wait a minute. I didn't have to be myself.
Right. So how did you
I could have been
find
whoever I wanted.
how did you find the FWC? Because I feel like that's where I first saw your name.
I just did like a web search for other like fantasy wrestling communities. Like I forget what the web search was, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But that's how I found FWC. And I was like, wow, there's more of these out there.
And they're good. And these people are good.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's better than this garbage fit I'm in. Which, by the way, okay, so you know Ernie, like Pat Gordon.
No, I'm so sheltered. I have no idea.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I don't know.
I'm
Yeah.
sure some people know him. He flits around FWC every
Okay.
now and then. So he was in this Fed, and like a couple of his buddies wrote wrote a short story about myself and my boyfriend at the time and my dead father, and blasted it out. This was on Yahoo groups, right? So they blasted it out to the entire Fed. Like the short story was horrific, just completely horrific, because they didn't like me,
Okay.
and they didn't want me to be in the Fed anymore.
Wow.
And so I wanted to quit. I'm like, but I'm not going to, because that's what they want, right? Like they don't want me around anymore.
Yep.
This was the same place that told me that, LINDZ Troy was never going to win a world title anywhere because nobody wants to see a girl win, like toxic masculinity, misogynistic bullshit.
I have a lot to say about that. But yeah, but I'm curious.
Yeah,
so
what
was it like a breath of fresh air to find the FWC group?
I mean,
and
no.
Was it EPW? Who was it? Where did you land there first? Like, I'm trying to like just kind of contextualize it in my brain.
Okay, so first I think I was in Andrew Medina's.
I know the name.
Place. He was awful. Like he's not a good person.
Right.
That's
what I love about you. That's what I love about you is like most people would dance around that reality. In a forum like this, they'd be like, he and I didn't see eye to eye, but like, no, you're gonna be like, yeah, he's horrible. Fuck that guy. That's what I've always appreciated about you.
No, he's a dickhead. Like, I mean, I didn't know it so much at the time, but I wound up many, many, many years later, and I'll get into this later, but like, I finally wound up in Legacy of Champions. Like Dan McDevitt wanted me to go there for the longest time, but because Ernie was there and because Ernie and I didn't get along, I just never went, because I was like, I don't want to be in the same Fed as him. We're not going to get along. It's going to be drama. I'm just going to avoid it, and I'm going to avoid being a problem for you, right? So, but he's always been like the dude who wrote women like really poorly.
Okay.
So, but I didn't know it at the time, right?
Right.
But I was in his Fed for a little bit. I was in.
What was it? What do you remember? What it was called? Ernie's Fed?
No.
Yeah. See, like.
Oh no, it wasn't Ernie's Fed. It was
Medina's. Got you.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Somebody else.
W garbage. I don't know. I think I was in the dude who ran John Marks's Fed. I was in Sean Edmonds' Fed,
Okay.
New Era of Wrestling.
Yep.
Like Sean's good people. I
Yep.
like him
Yep.
a
Yep.
lot.
I've
Uh,
never really interacted with him, but I've never also heard anybody or seen anything to make me think that he wasn't a good straight up dude. So that's cool.
yeah, nope, he's good people, like
Yep.
Sean.
Yep. Is he
Um,
still around? Is he still active?
no,
Hmm.
no, I wish he was,
Yeah.
but no. I do know he's in Chicago now,
Oh, there you go.
but
Little connection
not
there.
when, yeah, not when I was there. He moved there after I left.
So let's so
But
this I think this conversation ties into this though. So I was gonna say, like, I know for me, you were the first female handler I think I had come across, because I started like 1998, 99, I feel like, was when I got into it. And you were certainly, at least to my knowledge, the first female handler that I had encountered, and maybe even honestly the first women's wrestler that was taken seriously. And
mhm.
so when you put those two together, like, so it would be one thing for a guy to handle a woman's character in 2001 or 1999, and that's why it wasn't handled seriously, because that's how it was portrayed at that time. So how, I mean, you already talked about, the toxic masculinity, but like, how was that journey for you? Like, how close were you ever close to just being like, no, or is it always just in you to be defiant?
Oh yeah, point out.
Yeah.
No, I think was in me to be defiant. Um, Probably because and not because I wanted to like carry the torch for other people. I think it was
It was
just
about you.
because
This is about
it
you.
was it was kind of about me
Absolutely.
because like these people out there were just being horrible shitheads,
Right.
and I wasn't going to take it and let them dictate like my journey,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't going to let them dictate my enjoyment, you know?
Mm-hmm. Who gave? Was it Ernie who gave you the hardest time, or like was it?
No, it was his friends. It wasn't so much him.
Hmm.
But my whole thing with him was you knew about it, but you didn't do anything about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you were
Mm-hmm.
complicit
Mm-hmm.
in their bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. So when was there a period where it just felt like it was no longer became an issue for you, or do you still feel like it's an issue sometimes?
I don't think it's an issue anymore.
Yeah.
I think that after I think after LT won the belt in Empire Pro,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't an issue on the FW boards, and it was never an issue when I found PTC because there were already women
Okay.
characters
Yep.
doing
Taken
well over
seriously.
there.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, although the majority of those women characters were written by men, and very few, there was just like a handful I could think of off the top of my head that were written by women.
Mm.
Like Amy Campbell comes to mind. Um, her, excuse me, her handler is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Leah Ambrosi, her um, handler is a woman. So um, Tessa Windsor, her
So
handler was a woman,
a
and they
lot
like
easier.
had
Yeah. Yeah.
degrees of they had varying degrees of successes over there.
But you know what's kind of funny is, even just looking, so what little research and what little preparation I did do for this led me to your, and I hope I don't lose you when I switch to this camera shot, but we're about to find out. Was kind of going through Lindsay Troy's appearances, and like her first appearance, the card.
Yep.
I won't go to it because it's not worth going to. But like within the first 2 minutes of reading it, that card would not be anywhere near acceptable. And it was 2014. Like it was, I want to say it was 2014.
Oh,
It wasn't that
oh,
long ago.
oh, let me.
Yeah, yes, yes. So like you've been, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Lindsay Troy, the character, is the longest term character in the promotion currently, right? Who's active. So like you,
No, I think
no,
that's
oh,
like
Ford,
Mushi and David Fox.
right? For okay, yeah, yeah, and absolutely, I could see Rob. Yeah, okay. So all right, but even still, like obviously, Defiance has changed a lot. But yeah, tell me about your experiences, because you and I have talked a little bit about it, but like literally, just if you click on the first appearance, it's brutal, like
Oh, let me
immediately
tell you
brutal.
something.
That
When
Angus
when
was like the
I
worst character, but yeah, continue. Not
when
even.
I first joined, and this is a failing on my part. So when I first joined, like Prime had been closed not that long. Um, I had closed it. We came back for like the closure run because the dude who was running it at the time kind of fell off the face of the earth, and we wanted to give it like a proper closure, so I properly closed it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was talking to the guy who ran Tyler Rain and the guy who ran Wade Elliott, and we're like, why don't we like just go somewhere and run them as a tag team or
Yep.
like a trios team?
Yep.
And so I was like, whatever, bopping around and doing some research, and I found Defiance, and I saw, oh, like Seth is here. Um,
Was Brunk
Billy
there
wasn't
yet?
there. The
Was Brunk there?
Brunk, yep,
Yep.
Brunk was there.
Yep.
Um, Billy and Ford weren't there at the time; they came in later. But there were people here that I knew,
Okay.
and I don't like to go anywhere where I don't know people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean,
So
you've worked pretty damn hard, pretty damn long to kind of establish at least a comfort level with the people that you're around. I get that. Who wants to really start from scratch after you've been doing it for 20 years?
Well, and also like if there are people in a Fed that I know, they'll give me the lay of the land, right? Like
Mm.
they'll be honest with me as
Hmm.
to whether or not I should waste my time. So
Right.
I had a pretty lengthy conversation with Brunk, and he's like, "Yeah, the place is pretty cool, blah blah blah, whatever." I'm like, "Okay." So I talked to Shane and Asa, and we decided, let's go here. Um, I didn't know anything at all about the word choices, let's say,
Yep.
of Defiance at the time.
Right.
And right off the bat, immediately off the bat, I clashed with Justin and Jeff, who ran the place at the time.
Got you.
Um,
It'd be pretty easy.
Shane,
It's pretty easy to see why. I mean,
Shane,
it's pretty easy to see why.
Shane clashed with Justin and Jeff right off the bat, and
Mm.
like, I'm sorry, but if you are a grown ass adult and you willingly use slurs and you
Mm-hmm.
look down on other people who call you out on it and you're unwilling to compromise and change your viewpoint, um, you're not exactly the kind of person that I want to waste my time with.
I hear you.
And my friends also feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a lot of convincing by Bronk and other people to A, keep me around, and B, get Justin, specifically Justin,
Mm.
to kind of see why this is not a good idea.
Unacceptable.
And
Yeah.
like, yeah, and there were people who wanted to join Defiance. Like, I wanted to bring people in, and they were like, "We're not going to join because of this,"
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You talked about tell me about was it the Pleasure Dome? Wasn't there
oh,
didn't
like, oh yeah, that was a Kelly Evans thing, and I mean,
but like
like,
it's so I remember when you told me that I was just like that's stupid, number one. Number two, I don't know. It's wild. It's wild. But it is. It's just
I
like it's
mean,
like weird white
like,
dudes holding on to I don't know what. I don't know what. It's weird. It's
like,
very strange.
archaic mindsets that
Right.
just don't have a place in the way that the world has evolved,
Sure.
you know,
Yeah.
in modern society.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? Jeff, to this day, blames me for ruining Defiance.
Oh. Yeah, I would say it's
That
ruined.
like
I would
the
say
like
it's ruined.
the oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Defiance is complete garbage now because um because we're not
The
allowed to
cabal. Oh.
use Oh, oh yeah.
I love the
Oh
cabal.
yeah, the cabal. No, but like because people don't call people the F slur anymore or the N slur anymore.
Correct.
Defiance is complete garbage,
That's
and it's
crazy.
all my fault.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I want to thank you. Because honestly, just
So
truthfully, going back to that first card, I read your Lindsay Troy's first appearance with it was Tyler Rain and Wade, right? Um,
mhm.
and I was like literally it started out ridiculous and it ended see you and I was just like wow like yeah so I would urge people to go back and look at it just to like it is certainly a weird dirty time capsule that your character is unfortunately attached to. So congratulations. But again, but thank you. I mean, you
I'm
know,
proud. I'm proud to be your champion of
yes,
such a garbage institution today in
right,
2023.
amazing, amazing. So let me ask you. So you've been active for a long time. I feel like you're one of the writers who. Did you ever take like an extended break from the hobby?
oh,
Ever?
oh yeah.
Did you? Okay.
Well, Justin and I had a big blow up at the beginning of 2017. Um
Oh.
and I was done.
Mm,
Like I left completely from like the beginning of 2017 to the beginning of 2019.
right. Oh wow. Okay, I didn't realize that.
And oh yeah, well LT had finally gotten the fist in like late 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she was feuding with Curtis Penn,
Yep.
and I basically carried the feud,
That's
and it was
about when
supposed to
I.
go,
That's about when I left. I think my first time around. I
yeah.
feel like yeah.
Um, and I was carrying things. It was supposed to go for 2 arcs,
Mm,
and I carried the entire thing.
Jesus.
Um, and right after the first the first arc, there was a huge blow up in staff chat. Like Justin and I got into it. I pulled an all nighter to write the pay per view match.
Mm.
And Justin and I got into it, and I was like, you know what? I'm fucking done. Like this is horseshit. So, and then Justin went around and lied about why I quit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Control the narrative.
Mhm.
Steer the
Of
narrative.
course.
Right.
Yep. Steer the narrative.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gone for 2 years.
I do feel like you're. I think you mentioned. I think it was PTC and going over there, and then
Hmm.
kind of finding Defiance. Even though there was other people here, you probably didn't know it when you found them. When you found Defiance, but like I do feel like that you as a writer and as a in the hobby helped bridge between a lot of circles. There's certain people who've done
Yeah.
that. I think Warren. I think some when he went from FWC to like there's certain people who kind of bridged that and did kind of forge new ground, even if you did know one or two people. So I always appreciate that. Where do you think the state of the hobby is today? Like, obviously you've got the Prime thing going. Tell me about Prime. That's probably a more interesting topic. Tell me about Prime, the history, your involvement, because I don't know anything. I check it out here and then.
Yeah, so Prime was started into
Is
like
it was it
late
Prime Dash? Yeah, there it
2002.
is. Yep.
Prime
Yep.
Dash Wrestling it. Yep.
Yep.
So Prime was started in like late 2002, early 2003 by a guy named Sebs. I found it in I found it because I was in FWO at the time, and someone was like, "Oh, come check out whatever PTC." So I got recruited to join Prime, and so I
Okay.
joined Prime in 2006. And I was there 2006 until um, 2009. I left to go to graduate school, but I still like kept my eye on things. I ran it for a little bit
Mm.
um, in 2009 before I left to go to grad school. Um,
Do you
then
prefer
I
what do you prefer? Are you more angle? I feel like you're more shit of a shit talker. I think you enjoy the angle part, but I think there's something about you because even in your angle shit, you're talking insane shit. So like,
I'm
are you more? What do you enjoy more? I think. What do you find more rewarding for you?
I think now I enjoy Angle more. I think that I enjoy writing character development role plays or collaborating on things. Um, I was in HOW from 2009 until, sorry, 2019 until 2020. 21, and man, that like took a lot out of me because
Mm.
it's for their pay-per-views you have to write multiple role plays,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
man, like it was uber competitive,
Yep.
and
Which is fun.
it
There is something about that. There's part of
yeah
me every once in a while where it's like, man, role play fights are good, but man, there's also that pressure that
yeah
I will fold. I will fold under pressure.
yeah I was good after a while. Like I just didn't want to do it anymore. Um, but I enjoy storytelling,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
and I enjoy planning out a story. So I think now I'm more of an angle fetter.
Mm.
Um, and it's the collaboration aspect for me. But I like running a fed. I mean, I like
Right.
reading the stories that people are putting out too.
Right. Right. Because that's what I've heard about
Um,
Prime is that it's not so much it's not just shit talking. It's story driven shit talking.
well, right, because you don't have to cut a promo
Mm.
to get match relevance, right? Like you can have your dude or your girl, like whatever, like your person can be um like one of the characters last week had their wrestler talking strategy in a diner, right? Like they weren't standing in front of a camera
Yep. But it was
cutting a
about their
promo.
match. It was about their match. It was about the
Right.
feud. It was
And
about the
their
story.
opponent.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
you don't have to cut a promo. Not everybody's a shit talker.
Right.
And I get it. Like in HOW, Lee really loves when people cut a promo and talk shit.
Yep. So you got to write to that.
And
Know your audience. That's true too.
yeah, no, you aren't.
Yeah.
And like I've been cutting shit talk promos for 20 years,
Yeah.
and I am tired of doing it.
Yeah. Well, so let me. Look, where does that shit talking come from, though? Like for you, like was that? Because I do feel like that artful, snarky debate that's in people, and it comes from someplace, either family and like where you're like what's the crucible that crafted that the wit and witticism of Lindsey Bronco.
Um, well, I was a lot angrier in my teens and my 20s.
Not so much now. I'm totally grounded now. I have it together.
Now it comes from like my job, which is high stress,
Okay. Yeah. That'll do it.
and it comes from whiskey.
Good answer. All right, that's good to know. That's good to know.
or it comes from certain people in my feds
Got it.
pissing me off.
Absolutely. Right, right. Yeah, it is a hell of a lot easier to talk shit when you've got like an issue, right? For sure.
Yeah.
So let me so let's talk about
Like
Bronx.
my
Well,
boss, like this motherfucker did this today, and I'm gonna pound the
absolutely.
keyboard. And
I'm gonna
get all
find
this
a
stuff out.
reason, right? So we mentioned Brunk. Tell us about your I want to kind of go through the Vave Victus. I mean, we don't have to go through unpack. We don't have to unpack all of it, but I kind of wanted to talk
I mean,
about.
we can we can. I mean, Brunk and I are getting to a better place, right? Like we can talk about that. I don't care. If
Right.
you want to know, I don't care.
Well, I think everybody who wants to know knows. I get my I don't know. It's a tough one. It's
If you want to ask a tough question, go ahead.
well, no,
right?
but I mean,
Like,
obviously, it was not a fun situation that unfolded for you or anybody involved.
No.
But and it kind of fucked up your plans with Ve Victus to a degree, kind of. But do you think it almost made the story better? No offense to Brunk, getting rid of Dan Ryan.
um, I don't know if
Did
it
the
made
story
better.
change much? Did the story did you have to shift
No.
gears? Okay.
No, I don't know if it changed the story much. I think it was an exercise in thinking on our feet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that the people who were involved in our group chat were all really good about putting our heads together. And
Hey, well, real quick, was Ross included in that group chat? Because I know like Ross likes being included. So let's just make sure. Can we loop him in? Can we loop Ross in? Anyway.
okay, so Ross is not in the Ve Victus specific group chat.
Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, Rob.
I guess
Sorry.
for me, in retrospect, I think it taking him out elevate in a weird way. I think Dan Ryan's character would have almost been an anchor for the group in a weird way, because I think he had come back. He had a ton of history. I didn't feel like the character was fully engaged, or that Dave Brunk himself was fully engaged in the writing. No, like, again, all jokes aside, whatever puns you want to make. But so, like, I almost feel like to your point, like, you had to think on your feet. You had to be more creative. You kind of had to shift gears in a way. I kind of look at it as it made Lindsay Troy's rise a little better, because otherwise, I don't know. Is that crazy?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that the opportunity to bring Brock back with Clay Burr just kind of presented itself. And, it wasn't like, oh, we're going to replace Dan Ryan. It's
Right.
like, oh, we're just going to enhance the group by bringing in this person.
Right.
So, like, we were going to be fine with just the people that we had planned on.
Yep.
Yeah. And, like, we were going to be fine. It
Yep.
was going to be, not like, oh, no, we have this gaping hole. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so we just move forward from here.
Yeah.
And it's not a big.
And
then it's like, oh, wait, well,
yeah.
What about, like, Brock may want to come back. What about Clay Burr?
But yeah, okay. I feel like it didn't really skip a beat, and other than the kind of the shock of the out of character, what the fuck is that about? I feel like it just, to your point, it did kind of move on. So tell me about your relationship with each of your Vevictus stablemate handlers. I feel like you and Ben, Mr. Brush, go back a long way. I fucking love that guy. Tell me about why do you love that guy so much? Why is he so damn lovable? Is it the beard? Let's talk about it.
Oh, well, yes. I mean, I feel like
the hot
Brush
sauce
it's not the hot sauce.
Not the
like
hot
the friendship predates the hot sauce.
That's friendship.
It is friendship.
Yeah.
So I hung out with Brush in person back in, I don't remember, like 2015 or 16. It was something like that. When he was in Defiance and I had gone back to Chicago for a visit or something, we went and got a beer.
Nice.
At a place near his apartment. He's just like a really nice dude. He's thoughtful. He'd do anything for you. I think we just kind of hit it off in that way, and he's wildly creative.
Yeah.
Like,
and I feel like uniquely creative. A lot of the ideas he comes up with, I'm like, fuck, yes, okay, yeah, I would never have thought of that. Yeah.
And I just loved Henry Keys from Jump.
Jesus.
Like, it just.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
I thought he was fantastic, and it came about where, at the time, Defiance did the Max Steph tournament. It was like the G1 climax in New Japan.
Okay. Yep.
And so LT was slated to win it, but she needed to take one loss in her. Wait, was she slated to win it? No, she was supposed to. I'm thinking back. She was supposed to get screwed at the end. That was what it was.
Okay.
So she was gonna lose to the eventual winner, which was Eugene Dewey. So
God damn it, Dewey.
She was gonna win all of her matches but one. And Justin was like, pick who you want to lose to. And I was like, oh, Henry Keys. Like, you don't even need to ask me. Like, I want to put Keys over.
Yep.
So, and that was that just kind of started the unlikely friendship between LT and Henry Keys. And there's the segment that we did afterwards was called Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. And like, to this day, it remains one of my favorite segments I've ever written. There's a line in there where LT's like, I almost had you. It was like horseshoes and hand grenades, and um, and his response was like, "Oh, is that something that you put on your hand like a glove?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love it.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
but I agree with you. The way that guy's mind works is great, and
yeah,
the
yeah,
character is amazing. The character was amazing, and he's just the dark twist on it has been a blast to watch. And he's a perfect fit.
yeah,
He's a perfect fit with that group. So tell me about
yep.
Seth. I feel like you and Seth go back even further.
So yes, so I met Seth in FWO in like 2004
Hmm.
when he was running
Okay.
Sunny Silver, and were they became an unlikely alliance in a tag team where like FWO was owned by Disney, and there's a big story where like the owners like screwed LT out of some money, and
Hmm.
they screwed Sunny out of something or other, and so the two of them banded together to fight back against management, and they ended up winning the tag belts together, and they formed Silver and Gold. And
Represent. Seth in the chat says silver and gold represent. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so somehow everybody loved this team, and
Yeah.
I don't quite know how or why it happened, but like they ended up winning a bunch of tag team of the year awards.
Hmm.
I don't know, it was wild, but like Seth's one of my favorite people, another
Yeah.
person who's wildly creative and has a million ideas to
Jesus.
go along with his millions of characters.
And million of
And
voices.
so,
His millions of voices. Come on.
right? And so like Seth and I have just kind of somehow just jumped feds together.
Hmm.
And so, I wound up at PTC, and then Seth found PTC, and then he joined Prime, and then we feuded there.
Love it.
Like Lindsay Troy and Sunny Silver had a huge feud in Prime, and then like I found him in Defiance again, and I was like, I cannot escape this person. Like we are just destined to be in the same feds forever, and like I'm not complaining at all
Sure.
because I love him. But whatever. Like Seth is great.
Yeah. All right. So how about Strasma? I mean, obviously you've known Ryan for almost 20 years, or if not 20, longer.
So yeah, so I've known Straws as a big flake.
Yeah. I fucking love that guy too. Oh
I
man,
love him so much.
you surround yourself with good people. You surround yourself with
I
good
do.
people. You do.
So I remember Straws from like Empire Pro and Rocco Damon,
I fucking
where
love
he would write like these dense, dense
long,
role plays,
long,
long
long.
and dense role plays, and then he'd like in long and dense matches, and then he'd disappear. Then
Right.
he'd just fall off the face of the
Oh,
earth.
okay.
Then he'd show
Okay.
back up.
Yeah.
He'd show back up.
I
Then
fucking
he'd
love it.
disappear.
I fucking love it. I love it.
Like he did this in Defiance a couple times too. He show up and disappear. Show up and disappear. But like I am so thankful that he is back.
And he's killing it.
Like
I feel like I haven't read everything. I haven't read everything he's written because he's written so much. But I think I've said it before. I always love reading anything he wrote, and I feel like now he's doing the best shit he's ever done, in my opinion.
the low key, the Rainbow Reapers are my favorites.
It's ridiculous.
I fucking love them
And
so much.
now he's got voices for them, and it's like, oh, of course he does. It's a blast.
I told him I was like, if you can't find anything to do with them in Defiance, I will hire them to Prime, and they can be the apprentices to my security staff. Like I will find something for them to do. You cannot get rid of them.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, he's phenomenal. He is phenomenal. And tell me about Brock. I don't know enough about Brock. What's really funny is Brock actually remembers me from when I was in CWL 20 years ago. He remembered one of my characters, and I thought that was wild. I'm like, holy shit, they remembered my name from that. But seems like an awesome dude. Excited to have him back and spread his Defiance wings once more with Playbird.
Brock.
And that wasn't even a bird pun.
Brock is a piece of shit.
Okay. Okay.
He is awful. Don't know why I brought him in.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know why he's on my staff in Prime. No, I'm
I
kidding.
see. I see. I
Um,
see.
Brock is great. Like, so I remember Brock from FWO. He wrote Token Weed. Like,
Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
remember
Yep.
Token Weed?
Absolutely. Fuck yeah.
Token Weed.
Token weed. This is
Um,
fucking genius.
he was a little flaky boy back in the day too.
Yeah. 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 Hey, some things don't change. When you're good at something, stay with it.
No,
Okay.
he grew up
Okay. Good.
just like Shima, he grew up.
Yeah. Yeah.
He popped back up a few years back, and I got him to join HOW.
Okay.
And he's been consistent ever since. And so when I was getting ready to reopen Prime, he's like, I didn't tell him at first because I didn't tell anybody in HOW because I didn't want to be accused of poaching anybody.
Mm.
And he got extremely upset with me. He's like, "You're going to reopen this place and you didn't tell me." And I said, "But like, I didn't, like, you know how Lee is. you know, if I do this and I tell people in HOW and they join, I'm going to be accused of like, well, you stole people." Like,
Oh, jeez.
Lee's a sensitive boy.
Right.
And
Right.
I didn't want to. He goes, "Can I help you staff?" And I'm like, "What?" He said, he's like, "I was thinking about opening my own place, but like, I really want to staff somewhere. Can I help you?" And I was like,
Please.
okay.
Yeah.
Because
please.
I hadn't even put any thought into asking anybody to help me with this. And I'm like, "Well, okay, you want to? Sure."
Yep.
I couldn't do it without him, really.
No, that's awesome.
And now Craig is helping me.
Yeah, I saw Craig's over there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And again,
So
Craig's another seems like a really awesome dude. I wish he had kind of hung out longer in Defiance.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
lurking.
me too.
He's lurking, which is good. I love the lurkers.
Yep.
Creepy lurkers. So
Creepy lurker.
if we can, what I'd like to do, I'd like to shift gears if I may, and bear with me here. I'm trying to produce on the fly. There's a lot going in. So if I may, I'd like to play a little game. As you know, it's all about game shows on talking ourselves to death, and I think I've put together something that is appropriate and also exciting for you. Are you ready?
Yes, I love games.
All right, so this is a little something that I put together, and I got to pull it up on my phone as well. It's a little something I put together called "Who Are You?" Maybe you'll notice that the W are two V's.
V's, yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, Lindsay, is I reached out to your 4 stablemates, your 4 handler mates, if I may, and I asked them a series of questions. And it's incumbent upon you at this time I'm going to give you their answers, and you need to identify how well do you know Vae Victis. How do you feel about that?
Oh no. I'm frightened.
It's a little, listen, so this will be, no, these are pretty softball questions. I've got some that are related strictly to the hobby, and I have some that are related to just them personally. So I tried to get like a little mix. So I'm going to give you a couple facts, a couple of their answers, and you're going to take a shot. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
All right. So the first Vae Victis member, when asked, "Have you ever rage quit an EFED?" They said, thank you. They said, "No, this person has not rage quit an EFED." When asked, which handler do you feel is the most valuable member of Vae Victis? They replied, "Probably LINDZ." Probably. Okay. What year? How old were they when they first got into the hobby? They were 14 years old. Lindsay, who is it? They were 14. They were 14 when they got in the hobby. They have never rage quit an EFED. And probably LINDZ is the most valuable member of Vae Victis. Come on. Come on.
Strasma.
Oh, I am so sorry. That is an incorrect answer. I won't tell you who it was just yet. Okay?
If it's not Strasma, it's Seth.
Very good. All right, it was totally Seth. Congratulations. All right, so I'm gonna go to the next one here. I gotta tell you why I love your stablemates if I can first. I have two great anecdotes from putting and producing this game show. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why I love your fucking group and why I'm jealous that you're in it and I'm not. I gave them very very clear instructions, right? Like, hey, you know. This is what we're don't be too obvious who you are in your answers. Try to keep it somewhat vague, so she's got to really think about it. So Brock messages me and he's like, she's gonna totally know Clay from my answers. And I'm like, Brock, I need your answers, not Clay's answers. He's like, oh, okay. And I go, I'm so glad we had this talk. He goes, I'm disappointed we had this talk. It would have been hysterical, which might be true. So I will give you, we'll give you another one here. So, and there's another great anecdote I'll share. So, all right. The next member of Vavictus has rage quit and EFED. Okay. This member of Vavictus has left their home country. Okay. They've left the boundaries of their country. When asked which handler do you feel is the most valuable member of Vavictus, they misunderstood the question and put a character. I'm not going to tell you which character because I'm not going to do that. But like, I also think that might tip you off. Okay. This person has 3 pets / animals in their home. And lastly, this handler, when asked which handlers, if any, in Vavictus could you take in a fight, they replied, listen, everyone's lovely, but if I'm in a fight, it'll end real quick. Who is that member?
The brush.
Very good. Very good. Was it the animals that tipped you off?
Yes, it was.
Okay. All right. That's good. And just so you know, when asked which handler do you feel is the most valuable member of VV, he replied Henry Keys. So, okay. All right. So you've got 2.
He's a very humble person.
Listen, and he owns it. Okay. So you answered 2. So you've only got really, this is the last one we can do. Otherwise it gets a little clear. So are you ready for your last one? Do you know who's left? You've got either Brock or Strasma on the board, right? All right. So when oh God, have you ever rage quit an EFED? This Vavictus member replied, any given month, I'm on the verge of rage quitting whatever Fed I'm in. Okay. Do you want to guess now or do you want to wait?
Nope, keep going.
Okay, keep going. Very good.
I want to hear all the responses.
You want them all? All right.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. All right, so which handlers, if any, in Vavictus could you take in a fight? I'm not going to read the paragraph that they wrote because they're very descriptive.
Oh, no, I want the whole thing.
Well, no, because basically it's everybody. Essentially, it's everybody except you, I think. Or actually, wait, no. Essentially, I don't think he's messing with any of you. Yeah, essentially, he's not messing with any of you. Okay.
Yep.
What year did they first find the hobby? They first found the hobby. This is 1998.
Uh-huh.
And that's all I'm going to give you because I think I've given you too much.
That's Strasma.
That is Strasma. Very good. So what's great about Strasma is Strasma, in my directions, I'm like,
yeah, I knew it from the first response.
I know. And you know what's funny is like, in my instructions, I'm like, do me a favor. Let's not make it obvious who it is in your answers. If you can try not to do that, that'd be great. So I go, Strasma, like, these are so obviously fucking you. And he goes, I thought that was the point. And I'm like, it's amazing you guys are on top, is what I'm saying, okay? It's amazing you guys are on fucking top. But let me read you some of his other answers here. And and there's no way that he thought that these were obscure or like unclear. All right. So you heard the first one. Any given month, he's on the verge of rage quitting. Which handler do you feel is the most valuable member? The LINDZ pin. It's a pun on linchpin, but I swear that's not a David Lynch reference.
Because he knows.
He's
that
the
I haven't seen any of David Lynch.
He's the only person I know who knows who David Lynch is other than me. So, or just talks about him all the time. So, okay. So here's his answer to which handlers in Vevictus could you take in a fight. Somehow this episode 2 is also a Strasma episode. That's what's happening here. But his answer was, which handlers could you take in a fight? That's a loaded question. LINDZ, no. LINDZ could likely kick the shit out of half of e-wrestling. Ben might be 50-50. He definitely beat me in an arm wrestling competition. I love that he's thought about that. He's like, I can't go over the top with Ben. Seth, I'm sure, has crazy dad powers. So while I think I'd probably dominate the early game, he'd probably win out in the end. Oh, God. Brock for sure fucks shit up. I ain't messing with that maniac. Oh my God.
Brock is like 6'4".
Is he? Oh, okay. I'm not messing with him either.
Yes.
Okay. How many pets or animals are in your house? Just a single nameless beast that haunts the shadows of my waking existence.
Oh yeah, his cat fucking hates him.
Right, but that's one of my favorite parts of Deaf Radio is all the times you can hear the cat. If you really listen, there's like probably 4 instances where he's doing a promo and you can hear his cat meowing in the background, and I don't cut it out. Because I hear it, I know he hears it, which is great. Because I know he's going fucking cat. There's actually been a couple times where he's like, "Shut up, cat," or something. Yeah, it's great. What year did you find this hobby? 1998, and then 14, the grand year of 1998. Yeah. So, good job. So you only got 2 wrong, 1 wrong, 1 wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 wrong. All right, that's not bad. Well done. Thank you for playing. You've done a great job.
Is that it? Is that the only game?
All right. Well, do you want to do the main one? Hold on. Let me fix something quick.
Yes. Whatever games you have, I want to play, man.
All right. So we'll do one more. I gotta turn this one down because I was told it was loud. All right. Okay. All right. So, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. You need to. Bear with me. I'm sorry. All right. You need to name 20 Seth characters in 30 seconds. Your time starts now.
Okay. Oscar Burns, Butcher Victorious, Sonny Silver, Captain Justice.
20 seconds.
Oh God, I knew I should have prepped for this.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Cristiano Caballero, Angel Trinidad, Tom Morrow, Keeling Sr.
5 seconds.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to do this.
That's not easy, is it?
No.
You missed the Los Tres Titanis. You missed the whole BFTA, Alvaro de Vargas. Listen, that I have to gorilla people on that because if you would have studied for that, you would have absolutely crushed it.
Yeah.
I gotta. That has to be a sneak attack. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's talk about Deaf Radio real quick and your contributions there. Obviously, I had been teasing you, trying to get you to participate for months, and the way that I got you to do it was by poking fun at your character, and doing it without telling you, which was fun. What were your immediate thoughts to the first time I did that?
I was like, fucking Brisbane was my first thought.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good.
And so, but I knew what you were doing, but I wanted to play off like I was pissed about it because I didn't want people to think like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want people to think I was okay with the bit because then it's not fun.
I totally agree. Yeah, you sold it perfectly. The way I remember it being unveiled to you is you hadn't watched it live, but people were tagging you saying, "Hey, great job. You sounded great on the show." And so you messaged me.
And I genuinely hadn't.
In all caps, what did you do?
Yes.
Well, no, what have you done? Something like that. And I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. And now you've participated both with the Lindsay Troy character, killing it. The Teresa Ames stuff. How much fun is that for you?
I have way more fun doing Teresa Ames than I do voicing my own character.
Right.
Because like I just feel weird about voicing LT because in my head she should not sound like me.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't like I can't do the voice as I think she should sound. So she just ends up sounding like me.
Yep.
And she shouldn't. Like it's just a weird disconnect.
Yeah.
So I doubt you're gonna hear
A ton.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I
I
get it.
just don't want to do it. I just feel weird. I love doing the Teresa Ames stuff, and I
Absolutely.
love the stuff that Ross comes up with because it's fucking batshit.
And
It
yeah,
is
yes, and it's kind of
insane.
like you're literally handed a script with it, depending on how much time you sit with it, you probably have to sit with it for a little bit just to get fucking through it. Because a lot of times I think you always do it in one take,
Yes.
and
So like, so
that's a
I'll so I'll
accomplishment.
get it. I'll get it, and it's always insane. And I may make some minor tweaks to it depending on like readability. You
Right.
know, if there are things in there that are hard to pronounce or whatever, I'll make minor changes to it. But then I'll put it away for a little while, and then I'll come back to it. And I have to do it in one take, otherwise I'll just start laughing,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm done. Right? Like I can't.
And for me, like on my end for
I
production,
can't spend too much time with it.
right. That's true. Like on my, like a lot of times, like when people submit stuff, often it's in pieces. They'll give it to me in pieces so that I can kind of talk around it. But with yours, because it's recorded so low, if you did do multiple takes, it would. I think it'd be very noticeable that there was a hard cut somewhere. So don't fuck that up, please, for me.
Yeah,
Okay?
no, I
As the
mean,
producer.
well, like I just record whatever. I have like a pair of Bose headphones or whatever, and I just talk into my phone.
Yep.
And so when I'm doing the Lindsay Troy stuff, I'll pause for 10 seconds or whatever
Mm.
and then start talking again.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Teresa Ames pieces, I'll just talk straight through.
Right. Right. I could see that. And it works. Again, I appreciate anybody contributing is always fun. It's a lot of I have way too much fun doing that shit. It's a lot of time, but like it scratches a ridiculous itch for me, which is fun. All right, so I got some other silly little side questions for you. So,
Okay.
you kind of talked about joining a new place can be scary. And we've had a kind of in Defiance in the last year, we've had people kind of come in. Like I kind of
Mm-hmm.
equate it to like they find a new bar, they poke their head in the door. How comfortable are they? How welcoming is it? And for whatever reason, I feel like we haven't really held on to a lot of people that have poked their head in the door.
Yeah.
And I worry about that. Not that I think we're hurting for writers. Our shows are fucking long. I love everybody here, but Logan recently joining, Ria's joining, MJ's kind of back. How do you? Is there a better way for? And this is I'm just kind of I was thinking about this when I was talking to Strasma the last time, but is there a better way to onboard people? Because Defiance is a little different, and it took me my first run. I was frustrated and disgruntled pretty much almost the entire time. So, and I
What do you
tried.
mean by well first what do you mean by onboarding?
I don't know, like I don't know, because I think we have all the resource documents, right? I don't know, just how do we get these people to stick around, or is it them?
So I think that pairing somebody up
As they
with
come in the door.
somebody with somebody seasoned
Yeah.
goes a long way.
Yep.
So I tried to do that in Prime.
Yep.
So we had some new people come in before our biggest pay-per-view of the year last year.
Mm.
And I tried to pair them up with people who kind of like know how to plan an angle out.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get from point A to point B? And they've been in Prime for like at least an arc or two, or like they're seasoned angle fetters, so
Yep.
like they know how to plot a story out.
Yep.
Like they're whatever.
Yep.
And these people just didn't. They weren't really engaged, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they kind of flamed out on their own terms, which like it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're not like you're not going to be able to keep everybody
That's
around.
true. 100%. Yes. Yes.
And it wasn't anything that the Prime Stalwarts did. It was on the other person. But I get it. It's frustrating, right? Like, you want to tell a good story, the other person doesn't want to, and now you're kind of stuck with a dead fish for a partner. Well, it happens. Like, happened to me when I was the fifth the first time, and I carried the load until I got into a big fight and ended up quitting. So, yeah.
Oh, it sounds great. Well, that sounds wonderful. But I just know like how to the ARC doc. I don't know. And again, I'm not saying that the resources are there. I just always wonder like how we could make it easier for people to understand. And I don't know. I feel like it's all there. It's just to your point. I think we have to make it easy, it easy to find, make it more engaging. Yeah.
I mean, like, look at you can make things the easiest shit in the world. People still ain't gonna read them.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to make things in my mind as easy as possible in Prime to, where to find shit, how to do it, whatever. And like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
It's true. Yeah, because I do feel like the staff is super accessible here. There's a million people who'd be like, "Here's how you do it." You know what I mean? So I don't know. It was just a thought because I hate to see. I love seeing them come. I want them to stay. I like new people.
Yeah, I mean, and like I would love to see new blood get injected in here. Like I would love, and like okay, I hate Twitter, but probably the best way to recruit is on Twitter.
Right,
and it's a cesspool. I get it. Yeah. Like I don't even really run the Prime Twitter account, but we got one.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that Twitter was a thing as far as fantasy wrestling went until I was on the EFED podcast and kind of in the conversation. I'm like, really? Like, yeah, I had no clue. Yeah. Like I said, I'm so out of the loop. This is my little.
It's a necessary evil. Like I have. So speaking of like going out of your comfort zone and doing, I have LT in an angle fed on Twitter, and Jake who I'm not sure that but he is an old PTC guy. Like he's a real good dude. Like he recommended the owner to me, and it was just something I wanted to get out of my comfort zone and interact with different people, and so I threw LT in this fed, and like the person who runs it has been extremely gracious to me and has handled her very well, and I don't have any complaints whatsoever. It's not for everybody, and I get it. Like again, I hate Twitter, but all I really have to do is like sell a match result here and there like a couple times a month.
Okay.
It's super low effort.
Sounds it.
And whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, what would you even do? Do they just do like do they do long form matches as results, or is it like just recaps?
It's summarized. It's like a paragraph or two per match. It's not like move by move. It's low effort, and that's great because I don't put a lot of effort.
I was gonna say, yeah, who wants to? yeah. I want to see like if I had any other. All right, so. You've obviously, LT's been a lot of places, seen a lot of things, had feuds with probably thousands of characters, or who knows how many, but every wrestler kind of has that iconic adversary throughout their career. Does LINDZ Troy have that? Because I know like in Defiance, you could argue there's probably a handful, Cale Murray or Bronson Box maybe, or others, But I mean, like just generally in her run, is there that primary adversary?
Oh yeah, it's probably Sonny Silver.
Nice. Which makes this even more awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean like they're definitely in a good place now, but it took a long time to get there. But like if they weren't in that better place now, like she sent her son to go train with him, right? I mean, she wouldn't have sent her kid to go get trained by him if they weren't like they didn't, get through their shit.
Right. Yeah. No, I get that. I'm trying to see. We talked about that. Who's your favorite?
And by the way, just shout out to Brian and Mikey. Like this artwork that they did for her and Dev is really awesome.
It is. Yeah, it's badass. I love the little pink VV belt.
Listen, on Wednesdays we wear
I get
pink.
it. So what are you more? What is your preference? Poser, micro? You're liking this obviously now. Do you have a preference? I never
Um,
really was like I'm not in love with any. I thought the micro was kind of like a unique. Maybe it's not unique, but to me, in my exposure, I thought it was a pretty unique looking thing for Defiance.
I don't
This
have a preference.
I don't really
You know,
either. Yeah, I think it's all cool. It's all
like
badass. Yeah.
pick base is the last thing I prefer, just because it's so difficult for me to find a pick base that I feel best represents who LT looks like in
It's
my head.
weird. It's weird. It's weird.
I guess I guess it would have to be Madison Eagles, but again, like there's no white curly haired wrestlers.
You know what's really funny is so like I did like TEFP did this roundtable thing. It was a really cool idea. They had like 4 or 5 people on, and I was one of the people on there. And they asked, pick base or whatever, and I'm like, pick base is fucking weird. Like, who are these fucking people? And like, I pissed off the next guest on the roundtable by saying that. But like, I just don't get like literally. I think my joke at the time was like, I've seen like they'll use Tom Cruise for a picture of like a hardcore wrestler. Like, imagine like Resin's character with Tom Cruise's face. Like what do we do? Like, what is this? Like, it's
like I'm just
it's
trying
bizarre.
to picture Tom Cruise being interviewed by Chris Trott. Like I can't do it.
Oh, we need
like
more
Tom Cruise with a skullet,
right,
being interviewed by Chris Trott
on lifts on his
yes,
shoes. Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
What's left for LT?
So okay, so I do have a few more stories that I want to tell with her.
Okay.
But I think by the end of next year, she'll be done competing full time.
Oh, okay. She'll become the attraction.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just don't see her. There's just not a lot left that I want to do with her. But there are like 2 or 3 other stories in depth that I've talked to a few people about.
Yep.
That I want to do. So,
but
awesome. Until those are done,
you're stuck with
around.
her. You're stuck with her.
Yeah, you're stuck with me. Sorry.
So, do you have a favorite writer in the hobby? Like, is there somebody who you have like you maybe some? I think I asked Strasma like sometimes you'll almost scroll to them first.
I love what so in depth.
Yeah.
Like
let's do that.
Outside of what like the Vay Victus people do.
Yep.
I love what Joe does with Ned Reform.
I know. I knew that. That's the only answer. That's a great fucking answer. It's a good fucking answer. It's not the only answer, but it's a good fucking answer.
No, it's not. It's not the only answer, but I like Joe. Joe has that character down perfectly. Like, it's so frightening.
And what he's doing with the backstory, the slow reveal of the backstory is fascinating.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. So all right, I'll agree with that. Is there a hand? I think I already know the answer to this, but I'll ask it anyway because Lindsay's gonna go out firing on the way out the door. I asked Strasma. I'm kind of going back to the well of my Strasma questions here, but is there a handler that you're or several that you're just fine never seeing back in Defiance?
Oh, Jeff.
How much time do we have? No, just kidding.
Yeah, how much time do we have?
I know. Like, as I'm reading the question, I'm like, well, fuck. Just let her go. Set her up and let her go.
Jeff, Tony, or Dwayne Anthony, what the fuck his name is, Chris Ross, the dude who wrote Johnny Booyah.
Johnny Booyah?
Oh, you don't know Johnny Booyah? Johnny Booyah was like Johnny Bravo, except exponentially fucking worse.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is it J-O-H?
No, I think it's Jonny.
Of course it is.
I'm going to look it up now, too.
All right. Hold on, wait.
Yeah, JONNYBOOYA.
Oh, okay. All right.
Look at this fucking dumbass.
Oh, hold on. I got to clear that. And now you can see the majesty that is Johnny Booyah.
I think the guy who wrote him also wrote Kai Scott.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Johnny Booyah.
Johnny Booyah.
Fucking booyah. All right. Well, this is going to be exciting. All right. How about, is there a handler that you do that like has left Defiance that you'd love to see back?
I would love it if Damien came back. Who
did
wrote
Damien?
Eugene Dewey.
Oh, okay. I don't think I knew Damien.
He was a good dude.
Good writing. I went back and I kind of read some of that stuff in preparation for something I was doing. So yeah, no, I saw some of that.
I love it if Evan came back
Bronson.
with Bronson Box. Like, really, the whole reason why I have LT call herself the Ace of Defiance.
Yeah.
Is because I was trying to goad Evan into coming back and giving me another match.
Yeah. Bronson is a great character.
That was supposed to be my DEF CON feud last year.
Okay. He kind of flaked.
Yeah. He got busy, which, like, I totally get it. I'm not mad about it.
Right. Oh, shit.
But yeah,
pandemic. It's a busy business what he does.
Yeah. But I was like, well, maybe if I have her steal the name and he gets wind of it, he'll want to come back, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like doing a fake voice on radio to goad the person to get involved. God damn it, get your ass back here. Oh, that's great.
Oh well, it didn't work, so I'll just keep the name.
Listen, at some point, it'll happen and it'll be phenomenal. Anybody else who sticks out? I mean, because again, you've had kind of a history here that certainly longer than I have. Anybody else stick out? Somebody that you'd want to goad back in?
Those are the big two
from
nice. My time.
Yeah, nice, awesome. Any I'm trying to keep this to an hour, but I think we're a little over, but that's fine. So like,
we're over.
It's all good. Yeah, I know. So let me ask you. So what are your parting shots? You have, I think there's 8 people listening. I don't know.
Who's listening?
I don't even know. Let me check. So you want to know specifically? You want to talk some shit? Billy, Brian, Rhea's here. Hello, Rhea. Seth, Strasma, and somebody else who I'm not sure who that is.
Okay.
Yeah. So talk some shit. Feel free. Yeah, and end it on a high note.
I'm surprised Brian is here and isn't ghosting.
True.
I have nothing bad to say about Seth. Strasma, I love you. Are we gonna do a press conference for Death Road?
Yes.
Billy, you're a bum.
Oh right, the press conference. Shit.
Who else did you say?
Oh wait.
Got Seth, Straws, Billy.
Brian. That's all the people I know here. There might be other people who can shout out and say who they are.
Person I don't know. You're also a bum. But thanks for tuning in anyway.
Oh, it's Scott. It's Scott. It's Scott.
Oh,
nice.
Scott.
Fucking love Scott.
Scott, you better do the press conference this time. You knew the last time, and I was big mad.
That's fair. Oh wait, Strasma says to ask Roland if we're doing. Oh, I think he's telling you to tag Roland and ask Roland if we're doing a press.
Okay, conference. I'll yell at Roland.
All right. Well, honestly, terrific conversation. I appreciate this. We'll do this again because I feel like we just scratched the surface. But thank you, LINDZ, for joining us. Thank you for having no balls to put your face on for 8 people who you fucking talk to all the time to see. Any other parting
You're welcome, and I'll do it again.
All right, perfect. There. All right, great. All right, awesome. Thanks everybody for watching. I think next time we're gonna try to do, I believe, it's gonna be Joe and Gordon tag team.
Nice.
Right? That'll be fucking fun. And I'm gonna try to get the 3 of us drinking on the program. Just an idea. But, all right, thanks everybody for watching. You guys are awesome. I don't care if my music is loud, Brian. I don't care. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good night.
You don't give a shit.
I don't give a fuck. Peace out.